This is part 2 of our pie project. For this part, we are going to be adding a second layer of color to our pies. This is gonna help make sure that we see the texture, and it's also really gonna help the colors look a little bit brighter. So if your pies are looking a little bit watery or not as colorful, that's okay. This is why we're adding a second layer. So you can see I'm going in with a brown marker again, and I'm going over the crust, and I also added that crisscross part again so that it has more of a texture. And then for the blue squares, I'm taking my blue marker and adding some circles to really make sure that it looks like a actual blueberry pie. And then same with this slice, I'm gonna add some circles to the inside as well. So I'm gonna finish up adding my details. If you want, you could also add other details to the plate instead of leaving it just blue, but it's up to you. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing as I did before. I'm taking my brush and I'm going over my color gently one more time. You can see even as I go over that brown, you can still see some of that texture that I added the second time. And even when you go over the crust, the color does change a little bit. It looks a little bit darker and more cleaner, I think. So I'm just gonna finish this up, and then I'll come back with how to finish the background. When you make your background, I would go something a little more simple. So here I'm gonna make a plaid background, but you also want to add a shadow to make your pies look more three-dimensional. So you can see as I'm making this stripe, I'm making a little bit of a curve on the edge of the pie or the circle to make a shadow and make it pop just a little bit more. And same with the plate, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. You don't need to do this around the whole pie, just one side. You do need to pick one side of each circle. So you can see on every part, I'm just doing the left or the right side. And even if you're doing something different like polka dots, you still need to add a little bit of a shadow. And for this part, you don't have to go over the marker with water. You can just leave it as is. Next, I'm taking green and I'm going across to make that plaid pattern like I said I was gonna make before. But for this color, I'm not adding a shadow. And that's it for this part.